Good afternoon. I am Yish. This is New Leafs on Life. It is second, or is it the first? Might be the second. Yeah, I think it's the 2nd of May. This coronavirus season, and I am definitely. I don't know if I said it on the last video or not. I did not review it, but I am definitely in a better space than I have been since I started talking about IFS, right? I have a different channel where I actually talk about one of my firefighters. And, on that channel, I've also been kind of overlapping some of the IFS stuff because it's a firefighter, right? So, but I just wanted to give an update. My rumination part, he is resting. He does wake up on occasion to wave the flag of danger, and I have to remind him, hey man, there is nothing going on that you need to be waving the flag about. We are okay. And he goes back to sleep, and that's good. I really am in a good space. I'm not so high up the ladder of good space that I feel like it's going to be snatched from me. I'm just right there in the middle where it's neither good nor bad as far as the level of intensity. But it allows me to enjoy the good things and not be so triggered by the bad things. Because before, if we talk on a level of this space, right, and this space really is just a space of being vulnerable and turning the story in my head off. This is the story of the military campaign, having the defenses up. But we talk about it in a visual way. The way I was doing it before is I was way up here. I discovered the space of vulnerability and tried to operate in it where everything was good, and I wouldn't allow anything but good to happen. Life don't work like that. We all know that. Life throws you lemons. When you're in the middle of that space, you make lemonade. Because being down here is triggering. Operating down here is triggering. That's the story always going, saying things are going to be bad, things are going to be bad. Watch out for the bad things, and when the bad things happen, I told you, let's run with it. The sympathetic nervous system starts kicking in, and it wants to fight, flight, or freeze, and I get raged out and have these negative feelings coming in, and it just feeds the story. But I've been staying in the middle of this space, allowing good and bad to enter my mind, but being in that middle space gives a little room for the bad stuff and a little room for the good stuff, and I can make an informed decision on either one. Is it really, in regards to bad stuff, is it really hurting you, or are you simply soaking the negative energy in, absorbing the negative energy and raging out, or the opposite, right? So I'm in a good space. I'm in a good space to the point where I can I can be around my wife without feeling like I'm going to be triggered. It's still a little bit there, right? I'm still getting used to this. But for the most part, it's working out pretty well. It is by unburdening this part, this ruminant part, it has definitely opened up more awareness to some of my other parts. And of course, as I stated before, the emotional resistance, Reggie, the resistor, he's still there. He still has the door shut closed. And I'm still on a mission to unburden that part. One piece of research, or one person's take on it, was you cannot resolve emotional resistance on that level of vibration. In order to resolve that, you must step out of that vibration to a higher vibration, so that it allows you to see and reflect on the lower vibration, and in doing so it begins to dissolve. I witnessed that the other day. I was working on some material for a gentleman who reached out to me to do some singing on a record, and we finished a record. I mean, we finished that record in no time. Could have finished it even sooner if the job wasn't in the way, if the regular 9 to 5 wasn't in the way. But nonetheless, I celebrated that small accomplishment, and it just, with my firefighter at bay, not removing from me, or not adding to the story, I should say, it allowed me to really enjoy that moment of accomplishment, even though it wasn't anything major. And it did raise my vibration that day, and I felt good. There was a small semblance of joy that came about because of that. Again, turning the story of defense off opens up some space. One gentleman on my other channel mentioned it's like a hard drive that's full. Once you delete those extra files that you don't need, you then have room to put other things in there. And I have been putting other things in there, and that's that high vibrational walk that I have been doing. So, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised, but pleasant nonetheless. Been a little bit more closer to my wife. She still has some, residue from my previous behaviors, so I expect that, and I expect to move through it. But I also expect those to be Richard Schwartz, I think he mentioned tormentors, as he stated. Let those things that torment you become a mentor. And some of these things that I deal with my wife, I am using as a mentor. Prime example, yesterday, this was kind of twofold. She barbecued and made all this food and whatnot, and she could have did it a little better, but she did it in her way, right? She went at me on some I should wash the dishes and clean the kitchen. And a part of me would not agree, right? At that moment, I made jest of it, to be perfectly honest, and she found it hilarious. And I never did agree to do it. And then she told me she was bored. She wanted to play some games, Uno and all of that. I really did not feel like it, and I'm okay with that. I have to be okay to say no to certain things. And it kind of upset her a little bit. And to a certain degree, I told her a couple of weeks ago, actually it was last week, that there sometimes are going to be moments where I'm not going to agree with you. And I'm okay with that. That's the part that I haven't been okay with me, right? Is being okay with not agreeing with people. With, if it's something I don't want to do, I have to feel bad because I didn't want to do it. I don't have to feel bad. I can feel okay with that. At times, it is good to feel what that other person is feeling, but if I don't want to, I have the right not to, right? And so I didn't agree to wash the dishes and wipe down the kitchen. She went, laid down for bed, and I was in the bathroom doing my nature, and when I came out, she went to bed, and No, actually, when I came out, she was in the bathroom because she actually tried to come and use the bathroom while I'm in the bathroom. No, you cannot. I'm on the toilet. Shit. No, usually have 2 bathrooms. I'm not gonna make it. Well, yeah, hey, learn how to hold it, right? So she went to the other bathroom. When I got done, I got up. I went in the kitchen, and I washed the dishes, and I wiped down the kitchen because I wanted to. And we didn't have a conversation about it. She asked me what I was doing. I said, hey, I'm just washing the dishes. I was going to do it anyway. But I was exercising my right to say, well, no, I didn't even exercise my right to say no. I exercised agreement that I agree with her that at times I can just do it. And I did. I just did it. She just made a huge meal, right? And I did. I just simply, at that moment we were having that conversation, it was more of a demand that I do it. And I have the right not to. I'm practicing that. And I told her, listen, I'm not going to always agree with you. Because the biggest issue here at home is that she and I moved into this house. So I didn't buy this house. Well, I'm not the king of the castle. I wasn't the king of the castle before I got here. So the queen of the house has been the queen of the house, raising children in the house, doing things around the house according to her will. And when I came into the picture, I came in somewhat broken, right? So I wasn't fully operating in a leader of the house state of being as I'm trying to focus on now. And I expressed to her that, at times we bump heads because you walk around with chief status on you. And, I understand that. You've been the chief here for a long time. And as I continue to grow in my masculinity here, as far as thrusting forward and not absorbing, we're going to bump heads and somebody's going to have to concede. And I'm sorry, I am a male. It is natural for a male to be in a position of leadership and to kind of brush to the side some of the things that may not necessarily seem, I don't want to say important, but may not necessarily be on the level of priority. I guess you can't say importance. And I expressed to her, because the problem is we bump heads. She wants to be chief and wants to demand how things are done. And naturally, I have the same tendency, but I'm in a place where I'm coming into somebody else's place, right? So I told her, listen, as this progresses, as I continue to work through my parts, right, I'm naturally going to take the role, whether she likes it or not. That is, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend any female watchers, but it is a natural tendency for a man to stand in the face of difficulty and correlate a plan around it, despite what others may think. That is the bouncing off that man has naturally within him. And somehow me having that conversation with her turned the tide. It was something she needed to hear. My wife is very submissive, but at the same degree, if I'm not operating fully as the head of the household, then naturally she would have to step in those places where I have not stepped on. So, but the rumination part, which normally triggers me during small petty conversations, has been put to sleep. And as a result, I'm not absorbing some of the things that would normally trigger me. And because of that, there's less infighting and less argument between the two of us. Some stuff she would normally say, I would attach onto it and get triggered, and we have an argument. Now it's like, okay, I hear her. Some of it I'm just simply letting it go. Some of it I'm hearing her, and I'm looking at it, I'm evaluating it, and I'm making an action on it. So it's a work in progress. So that's my update. I don't know when I'll next post, because I do more posting on my firefighters on my other channel than I do on this one. But as I work through this, we still got to work on Reggie the Resistor. I got to work on this victimhood part. I know I got to work on my communication. That part is pretty difficult, but it's, you know, it's worth it working on that, and we'll just keep going from there. All right, I am Yish. This has been New Leafs on Life.